Hello everyone, happy July 5th. And of course as soon as I start talking, the birds start chirping louder. Shh. Okay, so I suppose you heard about on the news yesterday that we had a little earthquake. Now I have lived in California for almost 30 years, it'll be 30 years next month. And I can tell you I've been through a lot of earthquakes. And it's not as bad as you think. It really isn't. In fact, I kind of wish they would last a little bit longer. And not the dangerous ones, but the nice rolling ones. You just kind of feel this gentle earth rolling under you, and I actually kind of like them. Anyways, I was asleep when it hit, and at first I thought the cat was just walking across the bed. And then I noticed my vertical blinds were, going like this. And I knew we had an earthquake. Plus it got a little more intense, but it was so far away. It was just out in the middle of the desert somewhere. And it wasn't anything like the Northridge earthquake in '94 when it felt like a freight train was going through the apartment. And it was that loud. And then when the aftershocks would come, you could hear them coming because it sounded like thunder rolling in, and then all of a sudden everything was just crazy shaking. But no, this one was just actually kind of minor and was just way out in the desert somewhere. So that happened. Then later in the afternoon I went to my next door neighbor's house. We had a big July 4th feast and several friends came, and so that was nice. And I made deviled eggs and hot dogs and corn on the cob. And I'll put up a picture of the deviled eggs right here because they were really tasty. And I just want to say that if you have trouble getting your eggs out of the shell after you have boiled them, I didn't know till I was well into my 50s what the secret was. And I cannot believe I struggled with frustration, extreme frustration sometimes, about how to get that stupid egg out of the shell. And I tried everything. I used the ice bath method after they were cooked. Yeah, that was not completely successful. I tried putting baking soda in the boiling water. I tried, every little trick there was, I tried it. Didn't work until I heard Martha Stewart's, one of her people, say how to do it, and you know what? It works and it's foolproof pretty much. And that is, before you boil your eggs, make sure they're at room temperature. So just set them out on the counter for a few hours and then boil them. I don't even put them in ice water afterwards. I just kind of rinse them off and then leave them to soak in cool water after they've cooked, and they come right out of the shell. So try that. Bring your eggs to room temperature. Problem solved. Okay, I have a little list down here of things I don't want to forget. Okay, remember how I told you about this little yarn winder? Well, I did use it a little bit. I attached it to the arm of a chair because I can't get this, I can't get this under the table. The lip is too tall. So I managed to make a couple little cakes. This is about as big as I can make them. But the gears slip, and I was cranking and cranking, and this thing wasn't necessarily turning all the time. And if you can see, there's just little teeth around here, and the yarn would get caught on the teeth, and then the yarn would get caught in here underneath. So this is not going to work for me. Not that I have a lot of yarn to wind up. I was just winding up some of the balls I had. So I may invest in a better yarn winder. Well, pretty much everything is better than that little thing. which I noticed afterwards it says made in West Germany, so we know it's pre-1987 because that's when the wall came down. And I'm going to say that she probably got this in the 70s. So it's an old yarn winder, and well, it just shows its age. So anyway, I'll probably invest in a decent yarn winder. And let's see. Oh, I put in some orders at JoAnn's because a couple days ago they had a special where you could order as much as you want and the shipping was only $1.99. So I said, well, okay, I've been waiting to order some things and I will just go ahead and get them. So part of the order has come in, and I'm going to do a review on this yarn, but it's this Big Twist Sincerely. And I love this yarn. I just love it. It doesn't split. It's just wonderful. It feels like butter on your hook. If you've never tried Big Twist Sincerely, my JoAnn's doesn't carry it in the store, even though they could, but they don't, because my JoAnn's is kind of small. So I just ordered it online, and I got it like 35% off plus the shipping. Then on July 4th, I think they had a special where you could order whatever you wanted and it was free shipping no matter how much. So I put in a second order of the same stuff. So I should be having lots of Big Twist yarn come in. And there's different levels of Big Twists. I have 3 different kinds. One is just sort of their basic line, kind of like the basic Red Heart line. And then they have one called Premium, and they have this one called Sincerely. I think they have a few other lines, but I haven't tried them all. Anyhow, so let's see, when did I get this yarn in? I guess I got it in on Tuesday. And then on Tuesday night, I started to make this elephant out of it. And this colorway is called Americana Confetti. Oops, I got it upside down. So, the thinking is, I wish these little speckles were actually red, but they're orange. So it's not quite as Americana as I would like. But, like I said, I made this little elephant out of it. And he's cute, he's nice, and he's soft. And boy, I tell you what, these elephants, which I will post a free pattern for below, although I considered him an intermediate to advanced pattern, just because there's a technique on him. As you can see, he doesn't have separate legs. It's all just one piece. There's a belly button piece here, and then the 2 ears. In the body, in the trunk, those are not, the legs just aren't separate pieces. Anyhow, so I got him done. And then of course over the weekend I had done this little bear. Actually, no, let's see. Well, when I finished working on the jaded blankets, I started on this bear. I guess I started on her on Monday. Anyhow, so even though I was going to take a few days off from crocheting after the jaded blankets, I decided to make a couple amigurumi. And speaking of the jaded blankets, I had showed them to this one friend, and she said, oh, I'd like to order 2 of those from you. So maybe by the end of the year, when she sees how it all looks, maybe I'll end up making 2 more. We'll see. Okay, let's see, where was I? Oh, this. I need to figure out 2 more Afghans to make for the last 2 of my neighbor's grandchildren that I don't have Afghans for. I should start on one pretty soon. I will say I really liked making that Blue Lagoon Afghan, and so maybe I'll redo it, but just in different colors. So, let's see, I think that's kind of it. And I hope all of you had a really great 4th of July, and I hope you have a great rest of the weekend celebrating this great holiday. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye!